Get access to exclusive tutorials and take your paracord weaving to the next level by supporting this channel on Patreon. Hey, what's going on guys? Tim here again. In today's video, we're learning how to make a rattlesnake knot paracord key fob. So this is actually a redo because my older video was actually incorrect in its method. So we're making that right today. Hope you guys will like this one. Let's get into it. And remember, if you're looking for where to get paracord and all the supplies I use, feel free to check out the links in the video description box down below. So to start this one out, I'm working on the kind of right side of my piece of paracord. I have about 1.5 feet in between my fingers there. And I'm going to make a bite where my fingers were pinching. And on the left side, I'm going to make another bite. So I've got one kind of facing up and one facing down like so. So we've got those two bends in the paracord, and a majority of the cord is on my left-hand side. Next, you're going to take that majority cord and move it down to the right. And you're going to have your paracord set up kind of like this. Now with that longer side, I'm going to wrap it around that strand in the middle. So see how I've got 3 strands? It's going to wrap around the middle from the right side to the left. And then we're going to wrap it around the 3rd strand on the right side, like so. And we're going to bring it underneath that middle strand and over the 1st strand on the left. From here, you're going to take that cord, bring it back to the right side, and wrap it around the middle cord, like so. So bring it to the right of the middle cord and wrap it around in front. And bring that cord back, out the back, and back to the right side. And now we're back at our starting point. So that was one pass. So again, you have our cords in that kind of 3-cord setup. Got the one on the left, middle, and right. And my working cord, the working strand, is out on the right side. I'm just going to firm everything up a little bit more nicely before I move on. So again, now working with that strand on the right, I'm going to wrap it over the strand on the very right and go under the middle and wrap and pass it over the strand on the left. And then I'm going to bring that cord back to the middle, like so, and wrap it around the cord in the middle. And in that process, bring it out to the back, and you're back where you started. So as you can see, the wrapping of the rattlesnake knot is pretty simple, pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. And you're just going to continue that process of wrapping as you move along down your sort of 3-strand setup. All right, so continue that same method over and over again. And all the while after each knot, I like to firm up the knots slightly to keep them neat. You don't have to worry about too much of getting the excess out because we can do that later. But just continue tying that rattlesnake knot as you go down your sort of 3-strand setup there. Now at this point, you can still definitely adjust the length of your key fob. So as you can see, I've got my cord on my left-hand side. I can pull up at the very top there and move some excess out of that strand on the right side. So I'm pulling up and I'm shortening that strand on the right. And then now I can pull down on the middle strand. So if you're not happy with the amount of length you have, you can adjust it. For sure, it's definitely no problem. You can adjust it on the fly as you go. And when you're satisfied with your length, you just continue wrapping and tying the rattlesnake knot. Now, when you've tied enough of the rattlesnake knot that you're happy with, and you're happy with the length of your key fob, this is how you want to finish it. So that strand is wrapping around the right side strand one more time, and it's coming out the left side. And it's going to wrap one more time around the 1st strand there. So we're going to pass it through that loop on the bottom and get it through. And you can see we do have a good amount of excess in that loop, but no problem. We can just cinch it out using that same method from before. So I'm going to pull on the cord on top. And make sure you pull on the cord that is leading down to the middle. So you can pull on that cord and get that excess out. And tie up that little bottom part there. And now I can get that excess back down to the cord on the right side. But I'm just going to firm up whatever I can at the bottom, like so. And when you're happy with that, you can pull on that cord on the right side. See? So now we've got both our terminal strands coming out the bottom, and we have our rattlesnake knot tied up at the very top there. Next, to make everything look a bit better, we're going to cinch out a bit of the excess and firm up the knot. So as you can see with my knotter's tool here, I'm just going to start moving a bit of the excess through the rattlesnake knot from the very top. So I just kind of pull on one of those strands, and I go to the next part that it's corresponding with, and just make sure you're working your way down the key fob, just from one end to the other. Just make sure you're working out that excess all the way out. And with that little bit of excess, you're going to cinch it all the way through down to the very end of the rattlesnake knot key fob. And when you get to the very bottom there, you can just pull on one of the terminal strands to get that excess out. And now your key fob should be nice and neat, and you can tell you did everything right when all sides have that kind of crisscrossed pattern. Now to finish this one off, we're going to attach it to a keyring. If you don't want to do that, you could just tie a diamond knot and be done with it like that, but I want this one to have a keyring attachment, so I'm going to pass both terminal ends through a keyring like so. And you're just going to adjust your distance here and how much length you want, and have those two end strands coming out the very back. And from there, we're going to tie our snake knot. I'm going to take the strand on the right, and I'm going to actually wrap it pretty much around all the strands. So there's 3 strands on the left, wrap it all the way around like so. Then you're going to take the strand on the left, bring it behind. Yep, so you can see on the very back there's 3 strands. Now take the strand on the left, bring it behind everything, and bring it to the front. And pass it through that loop on the left side. And now just give everything a nice pull. And that's going to tie the first snake knot. And definitely feel free to adjust the length of the 2 strands leading down to the key fob. And make sure those are nice and even to your liking. And now that we've tied the first snake knot, we're just going to repeat the process and tie a second one. So same thing, wrap the right side strand around everything, like so. Take the left behind and put it through that loop and pull everything tight. Now you can tie as many snake knots as you want. I'm just going to tie about 3. But if you have more cord, you want to make your key fob a bit longer, feel free to tie more snake knots or finish it however you see fit. And of course, once that is done, we could just take our scissors, clip off the excess paracord, snip and melt those ends, and press them down with my knotter's tool. So that is it for today. We are done this paracord rattlesnake knot key fob. Hope you guys like this one, and Again, a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. If you guys enjoy the content on this channel, please feel free to consider supporting on Patreon to get access to exclusive Patreon-only videos. A huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can see all their names in the comments down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.